What happens when the glitz of the stage meets the shadows of survival? On this episode, I sit down with author Jessica McHugh to explore the real-life grit and wild creativity that inspired her dark novel, Pins. From the club scene's raw confessions to the art of blackout poetry, Jessica takes us deep into the places where vulnerability and power collide. If you enjoy the show, consider supporting it by subscribing to my Patreon for exclusive daily blog posts and weekly book and film reviews. Head over to patreon.com/The Dark Mind Podcast and become a citizen of the darkness. You can also support the show for free by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Your support helps keep the dark conversation alive. So without further ado, I give you Jessica McHugh. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely excited to have you here. Thank you for joining me on this 28th day of August 2025. I came across your work on Bookstagram and was immediately captivated by the cover, which was equal parts sultry and savage, and compelled me to dig deeper into why a book with such a provocative image would be called Pins. What I discovered was a dark emotional journey dusted with stripper glitter and blood, where scenes of unflinching violence are masterfully interwoven with a seedy yet glamorous cast of strippers. Their personalities are as layered and intricate as the narrative itself, which pulls the reader back and forth in a constant state of uncertainty. It's a story that keeps you guessing until the very last page. So thank you for joining me today to discuss this expertly crafted genre-bending novel.
Oh, I'm so glad. I love this story. I love talking about this story. And so I'm really excited to get on the stage.
Hell yeah.
So, as it were.
And before I ask the first question, when was it originally released?
It was originally released in 2011, I
2011.
believe. Yeah, and
Okay.
it went out of print in 2016, 2018. I believe so. Oh no, I'm sorry. 2012. I think it came out originally.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it went out of print when the publisher thankfully went under.
No love
better
lost
than-
there.
No. I have
I'm
a bunch of
tempted-
authors I'm trauma bonded with, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm tempted to ask, but we'll
No.
we'll keep the darkness pointed on the story.
Right. Yeah, so I was very, very grateful to have Madness Heart Press want to pick it up, because, you know, that's a hard thing to do, is to get a reprint back out in the world.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you did.
Yeah, me too. And I got to modernize it a little bit, since the first edition was based in the early 2000s, so I had to take out answering machines and some fun stuff. So it was fun to revisit and kind of add a new shine to it.
Yeah, put a pin in that, because I do have some questions about that.
All right.
Well, so kind of a brief synopsis. The story centers on Birdie, a young woman trapped in a soul-crushing job, stalled in school, and stuck in a lifeless relationship. Desperate for a change or anything to break the monotony, she knows flipping pancakes or chasing her mother's pageant dreams isn't the answer. With her bank account drained and weed stash dwindling, Birdie makes the leap so many restless women have before. She snags a job at Pins, a retro strip club meets bowling alley, where she's instantly confronted with unexpected questions about her own desires. And from there, her life escalates into a swirl of neon, wild parties, risky romance, gutter balls, and illicit thrills. But the party takes a dark turn when a mysterious killer begins targeting the Pins dancers, and that's when the story really takes off. So in Pins, you throw Birdie into a world where the lines between spectacle, survival, and self are smeared with sweat and fear. What was the very first image, whisper, or unsettling sensation that made this story start to flicker to life in your mind?
Probably when I worked as a stripper.
Nice.
in a West Virginia strip club for about 7 months when I was 19. I worked in 2 different clubs, so I definitely got a first-hand view of the ugly side, but also like the very surprisingly beautiful side, and like all the amazing things that went along with working in there, and all the scary things that went along working there. And so I knew I wanted to write a story about it one day. I didn't know if it was going to be like literary fiction or anything. I kind of had written some stuff down. The working title was Sweaty Stages at first, which kind of sounds like a memoir. But then like the more I thought about it, I was like, I had a few books out by that time. Horror was and is my toast and jam. So I was just like, there's obvious, scary things at the strip club, but I really wanted to just pump it up a bit and, turn it up to 11, make it as neon and glaring and beautifully scary as possible.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So kind of a little bit of a sidetrack. You mentioned your experience being both, how did you put it? Both glamorous and there was like a juxtaposition.
And gory.
And what?
And gory?
Oh, was it gory?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, the reason I ask is because there's a part that I remember in the book with Birdie where, she's kind of very introverted, almost to the point of being neurotic. Doesn't like the idea of getting up on stage at all, much less getting up on stage and dancing and stripping and stuff like that is kind of abhorrent to her. But once she gets up there, she feels like this passionate,
a power.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah. Is that something, speaking from personal experience, like when you first got up there, were you thinking, oh, it's going to be this way or that way, but you got up there, you were like,
yeah, I mean, for sure there are things in the book that are almost to a T. My experience. Right, starting at the beginning, driving away from a job orientation and throwing the manual out the window and just being like, I just can't stand this anymore. Like, I can't do this. And then just, having a moment of madness that once I met, more people in the club, I realized was kind of a common thing. You have a lot of girls putting themselves through college. You have young mothers, you have, and then you have a whole group that are just like, making a memory or just, took a risk and the risk paid off. So there, a lot of it comes from that. My audition at the club, I was wearing jeans, which are not sexy to take off. Birdie kind of has that same kind of thing. It's like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Especially if you're sweating, I imagine.
Yeah. And like anxiety and stuff. And so I danced all my life. So, I was a show choir girl and all that kind of stuff. So I do, like the spotlight, I guess you could say. But I didn't expect to feel the way that I felt getting up on that stage, being so self-conscious, Not quite as self-conscious as Birdie. She's definitely takes it to a level, but to be so self-conscious and then to realize that like everyone is looking at you. Everyone is almost like worshiping you. I mean, yeah, and there's a bunch of guys that are like they'll worship like, a shoe, like like an old pumpkin that's like sitting there as long as it's like open. So there's a certain kind of power, but then there was the power of like sisterhood of, people taking you under their wing. The friendships that were forged there, it didn't happen all right away, but I discovered definitely a power and a femininity and sexuality and sensuality.
Sensuality.
My sensuality that I didn't know was there before. And it changed my life for sure.
Awesome. Well, the club itself, Pins, isn't just a setting. It is a singular hybrid creature. Part strip club, part bowling alley, part funhouse mirror. And I don't know why it took so long for it to sink in. When you were referring to the club side and the alley side, I was literally thinking like alley, like out back in the alley somewhere. And then I was like, oh no, the bowling alley. Okay, I get it. Like, I don't know why
that works too. I mean, I liked that, seeing the club side and the alley side, because you do think of like a back alley kind of thing. So, it's seedy in both places. So
yeah. So I was curious to know, what's the strangest, most unexpected truth you discovered about your characters or about yourself by forcing them to live and work in a place this bizarre? Because I mean, like, I don't know if I would call it liminal or would I?
I couldn't do it. I could not work in this place. I think it was just so, what I loved about the idea of having the split, because I used to work in a restaurant it was a cafe and queue. So it was a restaurant and a pool hall. They just called it that. It's a pretty typical thing, but like the cafe and queue. And so I definitely thought about that a little bit with the strip club bowling alley, but I just love the imagery of it most of all, with the balls and the shell, the bowling pin is kind of, and then like,
phallic.
Putting your fingers in the holes and, it just felt like a really, innocent, like a fun but innocent place to do a lot of dirty things. It just felt natural.
A lot of double entendre.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just felt natural to have, if it's gonna have something else, stuck onto a strip club. I felt like bowling alley was the best place. So
you got breast handling on one side, ball handling on the other.
Exactly. And I learned that I could not work there. But I thought it was interesting how you had kind of the difference between, I didn't get too much into the alley side, serving thing, because Birdie was very, adamant she was not going to be a server. But yeah, that kind of split between the alley side and the club side. It's like, oh, I don't want to work the alley side tonight, oh. It was like getting stuck with, serving in the smoking section, kind of back in those days.
Yeah. Who were the guys that were on the alley side that just stayed there and got irritated when a half naked woman came over to them?
I know. But I mean, there were people like that just in like the normal club. You'd have like one or two guys that like, got dragged out with their friends, to the strip club, or girls, whatever. And they were just, not be into it, which fair enough. Like, it's not for everybody. It's probably not for most people. But and they would just get very annoyed when you tried to, dance up on them. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to do my job, like I can't, the manager was very much like that. You gotta be dancing, you gotta be offering table dances, you gotta be doing this. So, I mean, all that is very much, I tried to make it as accurate as possible for sure. So much so that, going back into it this time, I was just like reminded of so many like ridiculous characters, you know, people that, you know, were, I remember there was a guy who said he was Eddie Murphy's cousin, but it wasn't Charlie Murphy. It was like, he's like, I'm the other one. I'm like, okay.
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah. He's like, you know, I'm Brandon Murphy. It's like,
does that person exist?
Yeah, no. People say anything to get a free dance.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. Well, one of the most staggering things in the book is the violence, and it's not gratuitous. It's not like violence around every corner, but when it's there, it's there. And I wanted to know, where did you want readers to feel the greatest discomfort and why?
I think that first big death. I mean, it's a big one. It gets me every time. It's probably for me the saddest. Which I really wanted to set up the book as being, you know, we know, you know, it says on the back a killer is coming, so I mean, we know that's coming. But really, I wanted to focus so much on Birdie and Birdie's discomfort just with like getting used to the club, and then also being like, oh my God, like am I attracted to women now, and like that whole thing, and then to just all of a sudden be taken completely aback by the first death. And hopefully it grosses people out. It grossed me out. You know, and there's a line in there that, you know, ever since I first wrote it, anytime I write a death, it's like teeth rolling like hapless dice or something. That line always sticks with me when I'm writing, and I'm like, don't write the hapless dice thing again. But because it's a pretty notable line, you know, you can't write that again. So I honestly, reading it again, I was like, probably the most discomforting thing for me in this book is how like quickly the club just reopens.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we got to make our money, because unfortunately there are, you know, there are a lot of clubs around, especially in West Virginia. People will just go elsewhere. Dancers will go elsewhere, you know. If an incident happens, and there are incidents that happen, certainly nothing to that caliber that happened when I was working, but there were incidents, and there was one time the club closed for a day while a dancer was being questioned because she was assaulted by someone, and she put her stiletto through his eye. So
play stupid games, stupid prizes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think I might mention that in the book, but I can't remember. That's
why they call it a stiletto,
right? Yeah, I mean, it quieted him up. But then they, you know, they move right on. It moves on, no big deal. Certainly there was not much attention given to when the assault on women happened. If there was a dancer fighting back, there was more attention given to that, and like the police called and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little flip-flop, you know. People actually care that the dancers are to a point, you know, they care to a point, and then it's, you know, business as usual. So that is discomforting to me in the re-edit, because it's true, unfortunately. And I hope that, you know, in between all this, you know, the death and the silliness and all that kind of stuff, that people will get kind of a glimpse at, you know, what that life is like, you know, the good stuff and the bad.
Yeah. And, you know, no spoiler, but it is kind of like a real slow burn that develops Birdie's character, you know, gives everybody an insight into how she's kind of the trajectory of her journey, so to speak. And so and obviously I knew when I read the synopsis that there was a killer involved, obviously from the cover, something bad is going to happen.
Something is happening here. Yeah. That leg is supposed to be attached to her.
Yeah. So I don't think it was an accident.
Whoops.
But yeah, so I'm like, I know it's coming, and I'm like wondering, like, I wonder, is it going to be, like the aftermath where the violence is implied? How is it going to work? And then when it comes, it's like, oh shit, okay. This is how she rolls.
That was funny about John and getting involved with Madness Heart Press, getting involved with them, because we were at Ghoulish Book Festival, and I was talking about it on a panel.
This past year?
Yeah, no, the one before last year.
Oh, okay, because I was at the one this year. I was like,
yeah, I was a guest of honor 2 years ago, and yeah, and I was talking about it on a panel, and I was like, it's out of print, you can't get it, and he's like, but what if you could? And I was like, it needs to be updated, and it's a lot of work, and he's like, whatever, just send it to me. So I sent it, and he sends me a message, and he's like, I just hit that chapter. And I was like, he said the chapter number, I can't think off the top of my head, it's like 6 maybe, and I pulled open the manuscript, and I was like, oh you like,
poor boy.
And he's like, no, but we're gonna move forward on this. So I was like, okay, great. But that definitely, that one makes me sad, and then some of them just kind of make me chuckle. Some of the deaths.
I felt bad because, obviously I felt bad because of somebody died, but I felt kind of bad because one of the most intrusive thoughts in my mind was, what kind of tools did they have to use to really give that a good cleaning? The crime scene people, like that's requires some really get up in some tight spaces and get stuff out.
This was definitely going through it on the reread. I was just like, something is wrong with you, girl, because you had way too much fun. And I definitely cleaned some stuff up, but I left it in some of that like fun, which I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks.
No. Don't be sorry. It's fantastic. Listeners at home, you're gonna love it. Oh God. Well,
sorry,
this is a funny question to follow up with. What was the most difficult scene for you to write emotionally, and did you have to walk away from the manuscript at any point to laugh? No. I mean, you know what I mean.
A lot. I will just say that there is a character who perishes that I wrote as an emotional, like, severing myself, like, from this story, where I was like, this is not a story about me, I'm putting my experiences in it, but it's like, this is not my story, this is Birdie's story. So there is a girl who perishes, who for me, I was like, I'm letting this story take control from here on out, and through the edits, I feel like I got a chance to kind of exercise things and stuff when I was writing, and put my little real life bits in it. But then there is a part of this book that's like, not me at all, not based on me, not anything. Birdie becomes her own woman, and these girls are their own girls. Obviously some of the dancers are inspired by dancers I knew, but they became their own cast of characters. And that was a moment for me when I was writing it, where I was just like, this is a new world, and it's from here on out, like, I'm just telling the story. I'm just telling Birdie's story. And that was in the original first draft, basically. So, and when I went through edits again, I was like, okay, let's take more of me out of the beginning too, and let's put more Birdie in there, because I probably did 8,000 edits, as I usually do.
Yeah. So was there a lot of you in that particular character, or throughout the story?
I think just in the beginning, in that inspiration of how she winds up at the club, was very much how it happened for me. Right down. I mean, her cat is my cat. Um, like, Fidelio was my cat, Tyler, and he very much, was in the blunt rotation. He was, you know, so that relationship and that kind of thing was very much inspired by my life at that time. But like the boyfriend stuff, you know, that was manufactured. If I wanted to put the guy I was dating when I was in the club into this, it would have been, you know, I would have been in trouble. But I could write a sequel.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that. But that in that way, it's very different from me. I would say that in the beginning, I think the boyfriend character was more like my ex. And then I changed a lot of that. And then I changed a lot of I had a lot of Jessisms kind of when I wrote, Birdie the first time around, and then I took all those out. Again, I do so many edits. So the entire, ending was different in the first couple drafts. So, I think it was in like the very last draft before I submitted it, I changed the ending completely and then sent it like that. So it was this one was one that evolved over time. And then obviously it's evolved in this new take, because I focused a lot more on Birdie's sexuality, because when I wrote the book, I was bisexual, but I was not out. So I feel like the original had more fear, and more like, Birdie feeling negative about potentially being bisexual. And in this one, it's more like curious and almost like, oh, okay, all right, try it out a little bit. Like I'm still nervous, but I mean, she was really hot, So yeah, I was, it has evolved a lot, which I think is great, because writers don't get that opportunity very often.
Who would you say, like a celebrity, who would you say Honey looks like?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know why early Elle Macpherson kind of popped into my head, because she is kind of like the body. Gosh, that's tough, because I'm just thinking of the girl from the club.
So no. It's based on a real.
I mean, she was inspired. By someone. So yeah, that's a tough one. I kind of think of Elle Macpherson a little bit, and that's really dating me. I know. I'm thinking 90s Elle Macpherson.
No, I'm 45. I'm right.
Yeah, okay.
Elle Macpherson's boom, I got
it. Tall, willowy, just kind of, and that she had just like cascading hair, and then that, of course, that like little faded angel tattoo.
If we have any Zoomers or millennials listening, Elle Macpherson,
the body. Her supermodel name was The Body. The Body Macpherson. So
that didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah. And honestly, she's still got it.
Okay. I don't know why, but I was thinking of, she was in Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah, I don't know why. Jennifer Lawrence was in my head. I don't know why.
I could see Jennifer Lawrence. Definitely. Yeah. Especially like the hair and stuff. And I think that's what it was. The attitude.
And what was that movie she was in? I'm about to say where she played that crazy woman, but she plays crazy women a lot.
A lot. Oh, I was going to say she's crazy. I just rewatched Mother, which is one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie. She's so good in it.
I don't think I've seen Mother. I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
It's a tough watch, but I find it soothing.
What is it, like soul crushing?
It gets violent.
Well, I mean,
it's very chaotic. It's very, it's a very like home invasion-y. It creates a lot of anxiety.
Oh, okay.
So it's crazy. I love it. I just like watch it on a clip. It's just like Mother and Substance and Nymphomaniac in a row the other day.
Well, circling back to the book, You render the realities of both being a stripper and suburban life in ways that feel raw and even uncomfortable. So when you were building these worlds, were there stereotypes or easy shortcuts that you deliberately swerved away from? Or did you find yourself surprised by what rang true and what didn't?
I mean, honestly, I was there's the one part where Birdie goes home to go to a baby shower. And for me, that was I grew up in a small town where pretty much everybody knew everybody. And especially like after high school when you have to go back and see all these people, that scene for me felt like unearthing some suburban horror. 'Cause I always feel like I'm the person at the baby shower who doesn't belong there. Like, I'm just like, this little baby. So I think it's interesting because so many of the girls that worked at the club were, had the same story. Or, one of the places I worked was right outside of Cumberland. And so people were, living in Cumberland and, kind of, low income and stuff like that. So it was a pretty common scenario. I didn't realize how disturbing it was going to be to write that kind of thing. I don't think that baby shower scene was planned. I don't think it was in my outline. I think that's something where when I was writing, it just sort of happened because it felt like it had to happen organically, that I needed to take Birdie out of the club and see if she can be normal. Because I mean, that's an interesting thing when you're, working in that club and working in that setting. So many of those, the same kind of people around you, and you're working crazy hours, and then someone puts you in a normal setting where you have to be around like people at like 1 PM, and you haven't seen your mom in like a month, and they're just like, hey, oh. And it's just like, you feel like you're going crazy. And can I even keep this, because she has to keep this secret that she's a dancer too. So, that was a scary scene to write, because although I did not work very hard to keep it a secret, I could imagine people did.
Yeah.
and yeah, that for sure was not super fun. Not as fun as the club scenes.
Yeah. Well, there is a tactile grittiness in your descriptions, especially the smell of the alleys, the bruises, and the glitter. What's one sensory element from pins that still clings to you?
I think I still have glitter like on me from real life. No, but
that stuff never goes away.
No. But yeah, I loved describing the like the backstage, the dressing room. I mean, that is such a visceral place. You got all kinds of sounds, smells, sights. You got girls like bending over and smacking each other's asses. You got people smoking weed. You got people doing coke. You got it's a circus.
Mm-hmm.
And a foul circus sometimes. Like, you don't want to sit on the couch. You don't want to like.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, the couch.
I mean, literally, the couch was like, you would not. Like, I remember one day someone brought a tarp, and then it was like the next day they're like, don't sit on the tarp.
Oh God.
It's just like, what is happening? What is this life? So yeah, I loved describing the dressing rooms, and it was interesting when they go from club to club, the kind of the differences in the dressing rooms. I feel like there was more at Pins. There's more of like it's a little more casual. They're in closer settings. It's not as many girls. And then they go on over to the next club, which is escaping me off the top of my head. And then it's much bigger.
The manager with no teeth.
Yeah.
Oh,
And but there's like the golden lariat, and then there's the golden lariat was fun to write with the big rodeo setting. That was fun. And then and then the next club is much larger. You got girls snorting coke off each other's asses, and it's just like it's a wilder place.
It wasn't until I read this book that I realized, blacklights highlight quite a lot lot of things.
Oh, yes, it does.
Never thought about it before, but
I don't think a lot of people do. Yeah, I was very glad that someone told me about that like my second day.
On your okay.
Second day.
The first date you got to make the mistakes so they can let you know. Oh, by the way,
there was some hazing. I loved I describing the clubs was just like one of the funnest things ever, especially coming up with like different theme kind of things,
Gotcha. Well, the violence in Pins is loud, but the ache of loneliness and longing sinks in slowly, kind of like a bruise you don't notice until later. Was there ever a moment when you worried that those quieter wounds would get lost in the spectacle, or did you always trust readers would tune their ears to the softer horrors?
Yeah, I think I trusted them. I think the big stuff I feel like is spaced out enough where we kind of, something will happen and then you kind of get lulled back into maybe it'll be okay, or, they caught someone, it's going to be fine, So I think they were allowed to relax a little bit and focus on like, oh, he cheated on me, or, those kind of things. I mean, I don't think I was worried about that.
Gotcha. Well, Pins plays out in a landscape of neon and noise. If you had to pick one sound, something from the club, the lanes, or even Birdie's own head that captures the tension or ache of the story, what would it be and why does it matter?
Ooh. Gosh. I don't know. There's something about when she first dances to Rocket Man, which I think is like the first time she really feels that like sexiness and power of the stage. And she gets on the pole for the first time. She doesn't really know how to do it, but there's something about Rocket Man where, it makes me think of Birdie. It makes me think of that moment, and also like that feeling of loneliness and, being isolated and taking flight also. So I feel like that's kind of Birdie's anthem, Rocket Man.
Taking flight like a little birdie.
Yeah, like a little bird. I don't know. There's so much. The music in this book is one of my favorite things. Like I had like a little soundtrack thing that I would listen to, and it was all the songs that are mentioned in the book. So every time I hear like one of those, when I hear "Oh Sherry," I'm just like, let's go at the Golden Lariat. Again, just taking off her shirt, taking off her jeans, but better that time. It was, the music really just stands out for me in this. It feels almost like it could be like a fun, glitzy, bloody rock and roll musical.
Gotcha. Yeah. What kind of stuck in my head is I grew up bowling. Like when I was, 9, 10, 11, 12, I was in a bowling league. And, so what I was thinking of was, the bowling alley is nothing but reverberant surfaces, and there is nothing louder than a ball hitting pins, whether you're nailing a strike and hitting them all or just one, it's still a loud pop. So I would imagine if you combined a strip club and a bowling alley, regardless of how much people are yelling, because they're, in an uproar throwing dollars, or how loud the music is, you always hear that That
Oh yeah.
even if it's just like a little bit, you always hear the pins. That's what kind of stuck in my head.
Yeah,
Is
sure.
there's always like an impact going on. The tension is like there's always,
And I think there are a couple moments where it's like you could hear someone getting like a strike on the other side. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot that's unsaid in Pins. Shame behind jokes and loneliness behind bravado. Was there ever something you wanted to say outright, but realized it was more powerful left buried beneath the dialogue or action?
I think I don't know if there's anything more I wanted to say. I think Birdie does a pretty good job at communicating what I wanted to say, especially in this like new version, which is basically like, someone who wants to be seen, but is also scared to be seen. And then just kind of you have to figure out your own way to do that. And it's funny because like I imagine after the book, like Birdie never stripped again. Like, that's her and Honey got a nice little white picket fence and settled down together. Or maybe they just, were together
an antique shop.
Yeah, right. Or they were together for a while and broke up. And that was a chapter ending, because sometimes people come into our lives to teach us things and, and things happen to us to teach us things. And then you take that and you move on to the next thing. So I think Birdie wanted to be seen and Honey was the one that saw her. And I hopefully that comes across. And her friends, all of her friends. So my friend's daughter asked me the other day what the book was about. And I was like, it's about friendship. And it's about discovering yourself and, through the things that you love and through your friends. And she goes, but who's I was like, but I write horror stuff, so there's scary things that happen. And she goes, who's the monster? And I went, men?
Have you heard about the bear in the forest scenario?
Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, don't get any more graphic than that.
Yeah.
Or how old is she?
She is 8, 9. 8? Yeah. I think that's it's about.
Don't freak her out too much.
Yeah, no. I was like, we'll save that one for a little bit older.
Yeah. Well, for you, which character was easiest and which was impossible to let go of after finishing Pins? Besides, I would think Birdie's the obvious, but maybe somebody that we don't think about.
I'm a big fan of Jade. I'm a Jade fan. Jade stan. I love how she just kind of takes off. And just like, see ya. She's like, bye. Because that was a thing. That was definitely a thing. Sometimes a girl she'd just disappear for a while, and then she would come back and, whatever. And then, you pick up like you never left off. So Jade is one of my favorites. I really I honestly love the trio of Birdie, Honey, and Jade. They were just like a perfect little trio for me. So I think altogether it was really sad to leave them. Ones I was glad to get rid of.
Now don't say anything bad about Pantera.
I love Pantera.
Pantera seems like a great gal.
Yeah, she's great. She was the stiletto in the eye. Pantera is great. Was it Ginger is I don't like Ginger. So Ginger, I was like, yeah, fine. See ya.
The sacrificial lamb.
Make me lace your boots. No, yeah. I honestly, I could have written so much more about all the different girls. Part of me wishes I had, but I didn't want to detract too much from the story or derail anything. So, but I liked them a lot.
Well, I think we've confirmed there is no strip club / bowling alley that exists, right?
I don't think so. I know there are combo strip clubs of some things.
Let's see.
Like, I know I've seen a strip club like Pancake House or something, or there might be a bowling alley by then. They owe me
That would be
royalties or something.
Strip club and bowling.
I hope the book comes up.
What's that?
I hope the book comes up.
No, there's not. But if you would like a fictional account of this, read.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. There is no evidence. In 2011, a tweet pointed to Hard Bodies, now defunct, as a combination strip club and bowling alley, but no verifiable business listing or current official website supports this claim.
It was just like under the table bowling.
It's like an urban legend, it seems like.
Interesting.
Strip clubs with unique themes exist across the U.S., like vegan food, pirate themes, haunted houses.
Haunted houses would be great.
Oh, that would be dope.
Man.
Yeah. You get scared by a topless demon.
I feel like I just saw some of like Terrifier 2 today. I feel like I just saw that.
Oh, I haven't seen Terrifier 2.
I haven't seen, like, I work at a tattoo shop and it was just on the screen and I was like, oh, it's Terrifier, I guess. And it was like, he was wearing like a lady's boobs. Like had ripped off her torso and I was like wearing it. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, so the club in the book doesn't feel real. It feels like it doesn't belong to any city. It's almost suspended, like a place you dream about, but never see twice the same way. So when you were mapping it out, did you start with reality and distort it? Or did the logic of the club come to you from somewhere stranger?
Yeah, I pretty much, I thought of the club where I worked. And I just tacked a bowling alley on it.
Are you a bowler?
I wish I was a better bowler. I love to bowl though.
Oh, okay.
I love to bowl. We don't have a bowling alley around here anymore. Which really sucks. But I've always said my favorite first date was always bowling. I would always want to go bowling because I feel like it tells you so much about a person. Like, how competitive they are, you can, or if you have a couple of drinks, like how does that change, there's a lot of ways you can get to know a person by bowling.
Bowling's very forensic is what you're saying.
I think so. So. I mean, so much better than going to a movie where you can't even talk to the person. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, a movie's kind of like a couple of dates in.
Yeah. So I would love, first date movie theater or bowling alley, and then you just really kind of crack open everything.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. All the single people out there.
Yeah.
Word from the wise here.
It works. I think my husband and I was like, it was like the fourth date, but that's because our first date was a blind date.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let's see here. So I don't know if we mentioned it at the beginning, I believe, that this is kind of a reissue of the book. So I wanted to know, was there any feedback or reaction to the original release of Pins that stayed with you and influenced the new edition?
Not really, honestly. It got pretty positive reviews back then. Everyone really seemed to dig it. I don't really think there was anything. I think the only criticisms were mine that I knew about.
Yeah.
And that was just, looking at things where I was like, there was just a phrasing where I was like, I could say this in a way that is kinder. And I know that's weird to say in like a horror novel, but like certain descriptions, like of the character Destiny in particular, were felt insensitive, and just too much. There were a couple of things, and there was stuff like related to Birdie realizing, or wondering if she's bisexual. There's a line at the end of one of the chapters where she's leaving and it's just like the person she's looking at kind of lusting after a girl on the stage, and the bouncer is like, have a good gay. And she's like, what? and he's like, bye, kind of. And that felt much nicer than the original, which was her looking and lusting after the girl and going, great, I'm friggin' gay.
Yeah.
Which is
gotcha.
also kind of, it's cute. It's a joke, but also like it didn't need to be that way. It didn't need to be like so downtrodden about it, But I mean, also that reflected where I was personally when I wrote the book. So, I mean, obviously times have changed. I came out and I'm just like, why not make it more inquisitive and celebratory than, so whoa, I love titties, I don't know.
Scary. Well, I mean, it's a horror novel, but it is a lot of kind of like sophomoric behavior that's like morphing into the kind of the creation. They're trying to develop emotional intelligence at the same time.
And yet she's 20, 21,
Yeah.
I mean, a child, basically. I'm 43. I can look back on that and be like, that is not a fully developed person. I'm not even sure I've hit that yet, So yeah, I mean, that's a lot. There's fear there, I thought I was one way for my entire life. And now I realize I'm not, it's scary.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be so. Although I wish I had written a scene of her like running out of the room, like, Attack of the 50-foot woman, naked woman.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, when you asked the sensory thing, I should have said the Lexi Lamore scene.
The Lexi Lamore
with
scene.
the smell.
Oh, where she was squatting over. Yeah. Yeah, there was contact, right?
Yeah, oh my God. That was yeah.
Well,
that scene sticks with me too.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't know what that was like.
Oh my God. I remember editing that at work, last year, and people kept coming up and I'm like, oh God, stop interrupting me. I'm in a place. I'm in a place. Like children were coming up to get their ears pierced. And I'm just like, oh God, I don't know.
The more you interrupt me, the longer it takes to get through it. I've got to finish this. I've got to get out of this space.
It took a long time.
Oh God. Well, the murders in Pins never feel like puzzles waiting to be solved. They're more like wounds that keep the whole place bleeding. When you were writing, did you ever find yourself less interested in the who or why and more obsessed with what those wounds revealed about everyone left behind?
Oh man. At the time, I think I was just trying to make those wounds as deep as possible. I definitely, that is something I enjoy doing is, running my characters through the ringer and seeing how they respond, how that changes them. I'm not sure. I don't think too, like methodically like that when I'm writing. I'm not like, this is what I'm trying to make the reader feel or what I'm trying to achieve. I honestly, I just kind of let it unfold and happen, in the writing and hope that, some people think it's scary. Some people think it's gross. Some people think it's beautiful. Some, I love writing, gross and horror scenes. I love describing that kind of stuff. It scares the living daylights out of me. Like if I have to see that, I'm like, ew, no. But I love horror movies, but yeah, I can get squeamish. But when I'm writing, it almost feels like painting it or like music or something like that. You're really like kind of building the horror in a physical sense, but yeah, in that emotional sense in the character. But I don't really think about it in the moment until after. And then once you've gone through the editing a million times, then it's hard to see it from a distance, which is why editing is awesome, but also terrible, because I don't ever want to lose that magic of that first writing, that first unfolding and deepening of the wound. So I would say I just hope it hurts. I just want to hurt people. No, I'm just kidding. Don't make that a meme.
Yeah, that's I have my social media reel now.
Yeah, I just want to hurt you, baby. No, I want to create a reaction, certainly in those moments, but I'm not going for a specific reaction because everybody's different. There are definitely, I love the book American Psycho, but I'm never going to read that shit again. But I find it's the only book that's made me throw up ever, like physically throw up. But I also find it incredibly funny. I will laugh out loud at it. Like, I find passages indescribably beautiful. So if I can make someone experience even half of that stuff in the same book, like, I consider that I did a job well done.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was curious about, the sense of economic desperation in Pins feels both timeless and uncomfortably current. Did you notice this element taking on a different weight or meaning? I guess you didn't really revise it, but like after the book was finished, like especially given how much the world has changed since you first wrote it, which you said was 2011?
Yeah,
was it?
I think I wrote it in like 2009 or 2010.
Oh,
and it came
2009,
out in 2011 or 2012. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, objectively, it has been quite a while,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I would double the amount of time considering the way things have changed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's like a regular stretch of time. It seems like it's exponentially
Yeah,
different.
it's been 100 years.
Yeah, there you go.
It's been 84 years.
84 back when I was your age. I had a Palm Pilot.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a Palm Pilot?
I never did.
Oh,
I was jealous.
I was cool as shit.
I was jealous. I didn't.
I think back on Palm Pilots, they were so lame. So
I didn't even have when I was working in the club at that age. I didn't even have a phone. I didn't even have a cell phone yet. I had a damn hell ass landline and an answering machine.
Oh,
a desktop. Go check your email on the desktop.
Caller ID.
Yeah,
I bet you had caller ID.
I definitely did.
Yeah. As you revised it to make it more modernized, how much focus did you put in on like focusing in on this kind of perpetual state of economic uncertainty that a lot of people have to deal with?
I would say I think I kept it pretty much the same because I'm as poor now as I was then. I still don't have health insurance.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, no. So I mean, probably not at all. It feels as desperate as it did then as it does now. Yeah. She poor. She like her mama. No. So not too much.
Okay. I won't make you go any further with that. Moving along.
I mean, I feel like a very successful writer. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, no, I'm not breaking the bank anytime like I was back then either.
I was thinking more along the lines of how you portrayed the dancers,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say it's pretty much, I did talk to some people who are dancers currently, and it still feels very much the norm, the same kind of girls are working there, people are putting themselves through school, people are trying to support their kids, which is, do what you gotta do for sure. I think the biggest difference was social media and all that kind of stuff, which I chose to keep out of it mostly except for the Twitter stuff, which yes, that's the one thing I did not modernize. Twitter forever, baby.
Yeah.
It's Twitter. Hear that? It's Twitter. Yeah, I think I didn't want to complicate it with having the dancers have more social media, because when it came out, there was not really that much at all as far as that was in the book. Like I said, people were still checking email on a desktop.
Yeah.
Because it took place in the early 2000s originally. So yeah, I kept that out of it and did it kind of like, oh well, no, we're keeping it a secret that we're strippers, so we can't post about it on social media. Which that was definitely, I mean, that was a thing back then too, because people would come in for the club and want you to take pictures for the website and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. And then now I wish I had, because I would have had really hot pictures of me.
Absolutely.
Shame. Pity.
Well, kind of moving out to a broader picture of your writing career, you have been called, quote, a discontent creator and have made Blackout Poetry out of everything from Bram Stoker to Little Women. So what first lured you into that hybrid form of literary vandalism? And can you give a brief description of Blackout poetry?
Yeah, sure. Blackout poetry is taking an existing piece of text. It could be anything from, a novel to a religious tract that someone put onto your windshield wiper. It's taking that and then finding a hidden poem within it and then blacking out the superfluous text. You can do it in a number of ways. You can just, black it out. You can, create like art over top of it to kind of block out that text. You can cut it out, make collage. You can do all kinds of fun things with it. So I've made collections from Frankenstein, Little Women, and Secret Garden. But I do commissions all the time from any kind of book. It's really fun. I love it when people ask for a commission that's like, oh, I want a love poem for my anniversary, and then they give me like Finnegan's Wake. Like, okay. Or like something completely like off the I got one that was I want something that represents hope, and it was Where the Red Fern Grows. And I was like, oh my God. I was like sobbing through the whole thing because I'm like looking for hope in like a dog death. But I mean, it's I came to it quite accidentally in a way where I had heard of it. I actually had a Blackout poem on my wall that John Edward Lawson made years ago. And I was in 2019, we were having some financial trouble. So I did a GoFundMe or something like that. And as a thank you to people who supported us, I was like, well, I'm just going to make Blackout poems and send them to people. Like no one asked for anything. It was just, thank you gifts. So I went to the dollar store and I found, there was a Shirley Jackson book of essays and short stories at the dollar store.
Score.
I know.
Shit.
It was crazy. So I picked up some markers and crayons, and I had never really done it before. So I just sat down and started kind of mapping things out. And then before I knew it, I'd made like 20 poems, and then I just couldn't stop. Like I just kept going and just for fun. And then I was posting them online, and people were like, are you doing commissions? I'm like, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. And so I started doing that. And I was making a bunch from Frankenstein. And that's when Jacob Haddon from Apocrypha, he was just like, are you putting them in a collection or anything? And I was just like, no. And he's like, do you want to? And I'm like, okay. And he's like, okay, well, you have to stop selling them. So I actually had to remake a whole bunch that I sold the originals of. So that's how the first collection came together. And then from there, it's been a whirlwind, and it's so much fun. It's such a, I mean, I love writing. That's basically my first love, but all my life I wanted to do visual art, and this has been just a really great way to marry those things. And it's a great break from when I'm like focusing on a novel and I'm editing it over and over and I feel like I'm going insane. I'm like, okay, time to draw. It's just like a scribble and let my mind, have some, a different kind of fun. Editing is a certain kind of fun. Much nicer fun.
uh-huh. Is that similar at all? And I'm admitting my ignorance here. I love William S. Burroughs, and I know the Nova Express, I think. Mm. And
yeah, I think I have Nova Express over here somewhere.
I want to say The Ticket That Exploded were all using the cut up technique.
I know that's a thing he did.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically if those ones. I know I have. Nova Express is definitely in my Blackout Poetry book collection because I've made stuff from it. But
have you
which
ever
is funny because I didn't know if that one is. But
yeah. Have you ever done the cut up technique?
I've played with it a little bit. I mean, it's interesting because with the new collection I'm making, I'm doing a lot of collage, so it feels a lot like that, but a lot more with a lot more intention. Because I don't love to use huge phrases. I kind of like to move around a little bit more. But I mean, I know that works. David Bowie used to do that as well. So I haven't specifically made any poems through cut up. But I have used Blackout Poetry techniques to craft non-Blackout Poetry poems, where I kind of look at a page in a book and I see phrases that pop out and I'll write them down and then I'll use those images and then create like a poem around it, kind of. So, but I should just like put them in a sack and throw it together and see what comes out. I used to do that. That's right. I did it in, I used to teach creative writing to kids and we did that a couple of times. That was fun. Gotcha. I forgot it. I forgot that we did. As soon as I said, put it in a sack, it all came back to me because I literally had a sack and I'm like, oh. Ooh, but the next collection is Wuthering Heights, and it's a 3-act play as well.
Do I know?
Yeah, I'm doing next Blackout Poetry collection is erotic horror made from Wuthering Heights, and it's a doubling as a 3-act play.
Oh.
Because I'm a jerk.
All right, never mind. I found the media or the social media reel. Because I'm a jerk.
Because I'm a jerk. To myself especially. But now that I'm kind of on my last, my last edit on novels is always an auditory edit where I have the computer read it to me. So I can kind of sit back and listen and see if I missed any like little words and make sure all the dialogue sounds right, even from like a robot voice. And then once I'm done that, I get to focus on the collection full time and it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of authors say that they do the what would you call that? Not dictation, but having it.
Well, I call it the auditory revision. Yeah.
Auditory revision, yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing I thought was really interesting, I'm pretty sure it was Aaron Beauregard said that when he's editing, he will change the font and the font size. So it makes it look like a different document, even though it's the same.
Oh, to give it like kind of trick his brain a little bit.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which I thought was pretty interesting.
I find that very interesting. Yeah.
Well, you sly boots.
Yeah, that is a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's tough. That's tough. Once you've read the same thing so many times, you're just like, I really hate you. Like, I really like, it's so tough.
Yeah, I imagine it's baked into your brain and you wrote it, so you know what it says. So if you go across a mistake, it doesn't register because it's in your brain. You know exactly what you meant. Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like sometimes, you'll just be listening and then you'll be like, what was that? Like you'll go forever and I'll just be sitting like, have a glass of wine. I'm like, this is great. I'm a genius. What? Like, what was that?
Oh God.
And it was funny when I was doing pins, I went through 2 auditory revisions. I did a slower one and then I was running out of time because it was due on like New Year's Eve or something. And I put it on like 8 speed and I'm like, like it just sounded like someone drilling into my brain. And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to catch anything, but I did. It was crazy. It just sounded like someone spitting bees at me. And I was still able to hear when I had missed like a the.
No kidding. Well, don't use an AI program. It'll stop and say, Jessica, are you listening? Oh,
I know. Okay. That's why I use like Word 2008. Has no AI on it. It does not update. I hate AI so much.
There is I can't remember his name. He's a podcaster. He's also a programmer. He made his own desktop of Windows 95.
Oh.
It looks just like the original desktop.
Oh my God.
It doesn't matter what he's on. He can be on a MacBook or whatever, and it looks like an old. And even the quality of the image, like the entire screen,
get me
looks
like a Winamp skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take me back. Take me back to the Weezer video that came on Windows 95. All I want is Word Perfect. Take me home.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Oh my God.
Word Perfect.
Take me home. Minesweeper Word Perfect.
I don't use Windows anymore. Do they still have the paperclip that taps on the
no.
Hey fucker.
God, I wish. I miss Clippy. Yeah. No. They just have like the AI thing that pops up, on that one. Then it's just like, do you want me to help you write? And I'm like, no.
I don't need your help.
I don't need you. Yeah, and spell check has just gotten dumber and dumber. It's crazy. Anything with the A on it, because I use when I edit at work, I edit right in Dropbox on their Microsoft Word, so I can't get rid of the AI. It's just kind of built in, and I'm like, fucker, and it like follows your little cursor around.
Oh God, annoying.
It's very annoying.
Like a stalker.
It's mean. I don't like it. Can't we just go? I mean, I don't want to go back to typewriters. I was just be like, no.
No, like word processors.
Yeah, just like I have a little Neo Smart or Alpha Smart Neo 2 that I can type on too, where it's just a word processor, and then you plug it into the laptop and it uploads like everything that you wrote. But it's like a little screen this big, so you can't edit it. All you can do is like word vomit all over it. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, let me see here. Before we close out, I want to ask you, if you could slip a secret line, and I think this is kind of appropriate considering the Blackout Poetry, if you could slip a secret line or image into any book or film in history, where would you put your ghostly mark?
We should have never boarded the Titanic. No,
oh.
I don't. In Titanic. No. I'm not sure. Hapless dice. Let's throw hapless dice in there somewhere. No.
Hapless dice. Where would you put it though? Where would you put said hapless dice?
Stuff. Who gets their teeth knocked out? What's that Tooth Fairy movie? Of Darkness Falls.
Oh, yeah.
That's an old one.
Oh, I'm thinking the Tooth Fairy is what they called Ralph Fiennes in
the Wick.
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon. Okay.
Yeah. The Tooth Fairy.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Do you see?
Do you see?
Do you see? Oh, God.
Jessica is on a podcast.
Do you see? I am becoming. I read that book on a train on the metro to DC, and no one sat next to me. No
Were you
one was
reading
sitting
it out
next to
loud?
me. No, no
You should
one
have.
was sitting next to me. And I was like, I was reading like Adam Caesar's like The Tribesman. No one sit next to me. Like I don't get it. What's the vibe?
Oh God. All right. Well, I know you're a busy woman, so final question. What is the life of Jessica McHugh like outside of writing and tattooing? And giving off a bad vibe. No.
Well, right. I'm not a tattoo artist. I just get them. But I work the front desk, so I facilitate all of the art, which I friggin' love. That's tough, because if you asked my husband this question, he would say she's always writing.
Well, that's if that's the answer.
I do. I write. I like to write at like bars and stuff. So I have a good relationship with like the local like watering holes. But I like to. I love singing karaoke. I love to dance. My exercise is playing Just Dance, and I often post the videos on Instagram because I'm an idiot. Again, I'm a jerk. I have a very simple, sweet little life. I kill fictional people. I make art. I have 2 awesome cats, Norm, who is named after Norm from Cheers, and then also Frankie Hot Dogs, because he was a feral cat colony eating hot dogs. I write, my husband plays video games, we watch reruns of Cheers. And we just started that Alien Earth show. It's pretty good. We just we're pretty chill. I'm pretty chill.
Fun fact, my dad loved Cheers. I grew up watching it with, he was always watching. I grew up watching it. And so for his last birthday, or not his last birthday, maybe it was a couple ago, I got him a cameo from George Wendt.
Oh my gosh.
Shortly before he died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh my God. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I would like save that on 8 different hard drives.
Yeah, I really need to. I need to get on Cameo, and I think you can download it. Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up watching Frasier, not having seen Cheers. So I watched it in reverse. Where Frasier becomes a good person. He's better. He's a nicer guy on Cheers.
Yeah.
He's much nicer.
Well, he's not. Oh, well, I was about to say he's not living with his father in Cheers, but he's living with Lilith, who is kind of like a.
Well, she's my favorite character. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I went into Cheers thinking I'm gonna hate all the women, like Diane and stuff, because that is what people told me. Diane is great. Lilith is great.
Wait, now which one was? It was Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, she was the second one. Yeah, Kirstie Alley was Rebecca. Don't like Rebecca so much. but they totally like changed her character from like, she started out as like a businesswoman, who takes over the bar, and then they totally turned her into like a man hungry, like, and chasing rich guys and stuff. They really changed her, so she was not
really neurotic too.
Not a great character. But Diane is great. Lilith is great. I like all the kind of side. Hello, gang from Cheers. I like the one Loretta.
Loretta.
Yeah, she was the wife of Carla's ex-husband, Nick. So, hi, gang from Cheers.
Oh, okay. Man, it's been a while since I've seen that.
So, I mean, I love Cheers. I think it's, you know what? And if anyone hasn't watched Cheers, it holds up. Honestly, it's very progressive for the time. There are really only a couple episodes where I'm like, but like, I didn't think I was going to like Sam. He's great, he's a very, he grows as a character. It's an excellent show.
It is.
I highly recommend it.
Hell yeah.
And my cat Norm loves it.
Do you and your husband say that when he comes in to the room?
Norman. No, it's great.
All right. Well, it sounds awesome. Well, Jessica, it has been a pleasure talking with you.
Hey, you too. Thank you so much. This was an absolute blast.
Absolutely. So as we bring the show to a close, is there anything you'd like to plug or let your readers know about?
Yeah, sure. I have a couple of short stories coming out and anthologies coming up. Black Spot Books has a women-led, women in horror werewolf anthology coming out called Howl. I have a story in that. It's a super fun one. Deals with like, it's kind of like young adult and taxidermy, and it's really fun. I also have a story coming out in The Rack 2, which is an anthology with stories that are inspired by 70s and 80s vintage horror paperbacks. They just did the cover reveal today, so go check it out. It's really cool. The Lynn Hansen cover. Lynn Hansen kills it every time, so amazing. And that's a really fun story. The table of contents is insane. I'm still like, I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, very, very excited to be in that one. The third book in the Gardening Guidebooks trilogy is going to be coming out next year from Ghoulish. So you got Rabbits in the Garden and Hares in the Hedgerow are already available. Witches in the Warren will be coming next year. That's it.
Boom.
Boom.
Well, that is plenty to keep us busy.
Yes, and I'm sure I'll tack on some things in the meantime because I'm a joke.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call you that. You can call yourself that if you like.
I will.
I'm sure, and you have.
Morning tonight, and I have, and I will.
I have it multiple times.
Just
multiple times recorded.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, listeners at home, all links are in the description. And Jessica, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, everyone.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday for a new episode featuring the best and brightest authors and filmmakers of dark literature and film. So until then, stay healthy, stay sane, and as always, thank you for listening. See you next time.